Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today was my first day dipping into Oden's. I bought 5 palettes from Oden's when they had all their holiday discounts, and this is the Saga of Freja Cat's Breath palette. I love the color story of this palette, the greens and the teals, and I don't know if you can see that, so I'll change the way I'm holding it. I love these colors. They just make me smile, they make me happy, and I had a lot of fun playing with this palette today. This look was 100% inspired by a friend on Instagram. I will leave her information down below. She's gorgeous. She does really bold, beautiful, dramatic eyeshadow looks. She's very creative with color, and I definitely recommend that you go and follow her on Instagram if this is your jam. So if you'd like to see how this was created using this, then stick around. And if you haven't been here before, hello. My name is Rachel. I'm just a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who loves to play with colorful eyeshadow. So if you like eyeshadow, colors, eyeshadow palettes, and tutorials and that sort of thing, then please consider liking and subscribing. You can comment below with things that you'd like to see because I'm always open to requests. And don't forget that you can find me on Instagram at Shimmers and Silver. Now let's dig into this beauty. Okay, yesterday for the first time I tried the Glamlight Icing Primer. I often have creasing because I have slightly hooded eyes and this one's more deep set than the other, and I used this yesterday with my first Glamlight shadows and I had no creasing. After like 16 hours there was no creasing. So I'm gonna have to do like a battle of the primer and see if this one holds up to the ultimate test, which for me so far has been Beauty Bay. Even the mattes for me creased with Beauty Bay. But anyway, I'm going to start with the Glamlight Icing Primer in the shade White Frosting. Yesterday I think I put on far too much, so I'm going to take it easier today and see how much I actually need. My lids have a little bit of staining from the Michaela Glamlight palette. I did go in first off with all those purples. Like the first time I used it was all purple, so I'm never surprised to see staining after purples. And it doesn't bother me because as long as I use enough primer, it gets mostly covered up and the shadows do the rest, at least for my requirements. Usually I use the NYX primer, and this Glamlight primer is more sticky, so I want to make sure I give it time to dry so it doesn't stay tacky under my shadows. So today's my first day using Oden's and I'm really excited. It was hard to decide which palette to go into first because I have 5 now, but I decided to go for Cat's Breath. Up on the screen for a minute, I'm going to put a picture of my inspiration. This is a friend of mine on Instagram. She is in Latvia and she has a really beautiful and bold eyeshadow style. She does a great job with blending and color selection. She is my inspiration for today's look and I give full credit to her because this was 100% her idea. I'm just copying, but it was just such a beautiful look. She does a lot of really beautiful looks. You should check out her Instagram page and you won't be disappointed. All right, let's go. I'm so excited. I'm gonna take a decent sized, like medium blending brush and dip into this shade right here. I'm holding this sideways because I don't want to constantly flash the mirror at you. I'm gonna go into Catnip right here. This is going to go in my crease and blend out towards the brow bone, but I'm not going to go fully to the very inner part of the crease because I have plans for that later. So I'm going to go almost all the way in. And here I'll create my wing. This is a really beautiful color. It's like a Tiffany blue. Absolutely, this is a Tiffany blue. And I'm going to bring it down to the outer corner as well. I feel like if I'm blending too much, I start to pull the product off. So I'm just gonna gently kind of tap it where I want it to be and then gently blend away. With ColourPop shadows, I can dip into the pan and do like windshield wiper motions back and forth to get it blended. But with some other companies, Beauty Bay for example, and perhaps Oden's I kind of need to just place the product where I want it and then carefully use a gentle blending technique to move it around a bit. So this is a fun color. It's definitely a Tiffany blue. It's very nice. It performs well, it builds well. Like I just kept dipping back into the pan to get a little bit more pigment and a little bit more pigment and slowly build up the intensity of the color. Now I'm taking a pencil brush and I'm dipping into the shade Bad Temper, which is this beautiful teal color. It's teal, but leaning more towards the green. It's like a forest It's like a forest teal. It's very pretty. I'm putting that on my pencil brush, and I'm going to use this to deepen up the outer corner. So I'm going to place it here, and then blend it into my crease. Again, once most of the product is placed down, then I will take more of a blending brush and work it from there. I'm going to go back to my original blending brush and just touch those edges to work them together. Remember that you can always go back in and add more pigment, but taking it away is difficult. Sometimes we may take it away inadvertently, but then it's not very strategic either. It's just, oops, didn't mean to do that. Once you've placed the original color down and blended it out, then it's easy to just tap back in with a little more pigment, and you don't have to blend it as much, because now the second layer of pigment is just blended, is naturally blended into the first. I mean, you have to blend a little bit. You don't just place and go, but it's a lot less work once you've got the first layer down. And you can see I'm not scraping or swiping, I'm just like contacting my skin and pushing a little bit, you know, in the general direction. It's a totally different technique. That's also a totally different technique. Dropping your brush is an excellent technique if you want to not get your eyeshadow look done. Yesterday I was swatching my Oden's Eye palettes because I felt a little intimidated by a couple shades. This one, for example, where it might be like a marbled shade in the pan, and I wasn't completely sure how it would look on my skin, so I couldn't really plan my looks. So I swatched all of my Oden's Eye palettes, and I was covered in sparkle. I was just covered. There was glitter everywhere, and I kept doing clumsy things like dropping something and then trying to catch it with glitter on my hand, like shimmery sparkles on my hands, and I was a mess. I was just a mess. Okay, I think I may deepen this out a little bit more later, but not right now. I'm gonna wait and see. Next, I am taking shimmer. It's always a fun day when you get to do shimmer. I'm taking a flat C brush or flat shader brush, and I'm gonna dip into this shade here, which is called Bling. I discovered that the Glam Light shimmers apply best with my finger. I suspect these may... No, these look a little bit more like Beauty Bay. Okay, I'm dipping into the shimmer, and then I'm gonna spray my brush. Although I'm almost out of setting spray. I have to get more. And I'm gonna place this on the whole lid space leading up to that green. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, it's pretty. I'm not gonna go super into the inner corner because, again, I have plans for that area. I think there are a couple of different formulas in the palette, but this particular shimmer, I can say, behaves more like a Beauty Bay. It's a little bit more like putty, less powdery. When I swatched Oden's Eye yesterday, the shimmers blew me away. They were beautiful. They were so pigmented. They were colorful. They were impactful. They had high shine. They were gorgeous. They were so pretty. Look at this. Isn't this lovely? Yeah. My friend did a good job choosing these colors. Oden's Eye did a good job choosing these colors. Let's be real. Now I'm taking a small pencil brush. I'm going to do my orange. I'm going to dip into Warmth, this center orange color. This is one of the colors that sold me on the palette. Truthfully, everything in the palette sold me on the palette, but this Warmth color, oh, it's so pretty. If you watched my declutter video and you saw that I got rid of Smitten with Switzerland, this is why. Because the colors in the Switzerland palette that I was drawn to were like the greens and the oranges. I mean, need I say more? I like BH Cosmetics, but this is color on a different level from the Switzerland palette. All right, I've got orange on this small brush. I'm gonna place this on the inner corner crease. So like, I'm gonna put it right here. Oh, it's so pretty. And just blend it out towards the minty Tiffany catnip shade that we placed down before. But I need to be careful because I don't want it to become muddy. I don't want orange and mint to blend together and make mud. Not a good idea. So I'm just gently placing the majority of the color right here. And then I will blend it towards the catnip shade, but not go crazy. Remember, catnip was a perfect transition because it's so light. You can build it up and pigment it, but then it can just fade into nothing. And so I'm working on that fade into nothing when I add in a totally different color over here with the orange. So the orange is going to fade into the nothing of the catnip. I'm just using very, very light strokes to spread around the orange shade. Seriously, this is so pretty. I'm loving these colors. I knew I would love this palette. The color story just spoke to me. I'm gonna go back into that pencil brush and back into the Bad Temper color, which is that dark green. I do want to deepen up my outer corners a bit. I just want a little more drama. Eyeshadow is the only place in life where I want drama. Let me be very clear about that. That's the only place. Human interaction, no drama. I don't want drama there. But eyeshadow? I like dramatic eyeshadow. I brought it up a little bit higher onto my brow bone. Like, I was placing the color here underneath of my brow bone, but then it gave me a shape that I wasn't really liking today for some reason, so I ended up taking the brush, not with new product, but with whatever was left on the product, but I had not switched it off, and I ended up placing the product like here, right underneath of my eyebrow. And then taking my blending brush and blending it out. So that color on that very outer corner actually touches the eyebrow. I just wanted that shape. I have no fallout on my face. None. None at all. And with a shade like this one right here, because it's so deep and pigmented, that's an accomplishment to not have any fallout. There's a tiny bit of kick up in the pan, but there's no fallout on the face. I'm just gonna take some concealer and brighten up under my eyes, and then I'll be back to do the lower lash line. Okay, it's time to finish up. Now it's time for the lower lashes. I'm gonna take another small pencil brush, and I'm dipping into the catnip shade, which is that Tiffany blue. I'm gonna run that from the outer corner all the way till about here, like 3/4 of the way. And now with the smudger brush, I'm dipping into that teal shade called Bad Temper. And this is going in my outer corner and is gonna just continue meeting up with the outer wing shape. This is just gonna go in the outer corner. I'm not carrying it all the way down. Okay, and now with the brush that I just used for the catnip shade, I am going into Cat Star. And I'm gonna place it down dry and see how it looks. I'm gonna place it on the inner corner as a highlight shade. And then I'll drag it on the lower lash line to meet up with the catnip color. This is like the marbled pan in the palette. And it's a blue and white, but it comes off on the eyes with just a hint of like a minty green undertone. What I'm really curious about is whether or not the marbling carries through the entire pan or if it's just a design on top. All right, for some reason my video cut out. I think my phone is dying. Anyway, I used that color for the inner corners, and now I'm taking a black eyeliner and I'm just lining the waterline. And I'm going to do some black eyeliner and probably, I might wing it out, I haven't decided. Anyway, I'll finish up those 2 steps and I'll add some mascara and come back to show you the finished look. All right, here's the finished look, everyone. This look is so beautiful. I have to go thank my friend again for giving me complete inspiration on this one. This palette is so beautiful. I just love it. I did some black eyeliner up top. I did not do a wing, and I did some mascara and a little bit of setting spray and face highlighter, and that was all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and giving me just a little slice of your day. Let me know if you try the look yourself. Tag us on social media. I'm gonna leave her name down below, and we would just love to see if you create this. I had so much fun. This is so beautiful. I'm just ready to take on the day. So I thank you for hanging out with me, and until we see each other again, have a wonderful day.